गणानां त्वा गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतान् शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः। नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Dear friends, we are in this sixth Anuvaka, that is the sixth passage of Shikshavalli, and we are somewhere toward the end of the Bhashyam. I have read the mantras, the two mantras which are there in that. I explained the mantras and we have mostly read the Bhashyam also. So we are on this line, Kincha tatopyadhikatarametad bhavati. So the structure of this Anuvaka is, the Anuvaka is telling us where Brahman can be found. That is Hridaya Akasha. Sa yesho antar Hridaya Akashaha. So that is what is Tasminnayam Purusho Manomayah. So it is talking about some Manomaya Purusha, which is referring to Hiranyagarbha, who is in your own heart. He is dwelling in your own heart. So this is an Ahangrahopasana that also we discussed. That is discovering that my body-mind complex is not different from the macrocosm. Discovering that I am the same as the supreme, that the macrocosm which is Hiranyagarbha. So eradicating your small limited identity, dissociating from your limited identity and identifying with a greater say cosmic intelligence or cosmic mind. So that is what is the upasana here. So what is the effect, what is the result of that upasana? The result of that upasana is now being told. You are becoming Vakpatihi, Chakshushpatihi, Shrotrapatir, Vijnanapatihi, all that we read in the last class. Then now Etat Tato Bhavati. Moreover, he becomes this also. Etat Tato Bhavati. He also becomes this. In addition to what all has been said. That is Akasha Shariram Brahma. That is being explained. So, Kincha tatopyadhikataram etad bhavati. I think we read up to this point. Let us read. Kim tat uchyate akasha shariram akashaha shariram asya akashavadva sukshmam shariram asya ityakasha shariram kim tat prakrutam brahma. So he becomes that Brahma for which this Akasha Shariram, Akashameva Shariram or Akasham Iva Shariram. Akasham, you know the characteristics of Akasha. Whatever you do, Akasha is not affected by that Akasha. Akasha is something, Akashavat Vyomavath na avalipyate, Akashavat na avalipyate. That also we have seen in, say even in Gita. And then, it is unaffected. Suppose there is some good activity in some place, Akasha is unaffected. There is some other bad activity in some other place, Akasha is not affected. So, Akasha Shariram means, like Akasha, he goes beyond the definitions of good and evil. So that is what this Bhashyakara, this Vanamalakara writes. Dukkadibhisya samslesha ayogyatvam sukshmatvam, he says. Akasham adhisthana bhutasya brahmana kalpitam surupam ityarthaha sukshmamiti jaladibhihi dukkadibhisya samslesha ayogyatvam. It is something like what Gita says in that earlier shloka, Nainam chindanti shastrani, Nainam dahati pavakaha, Nachainam kledayanti apo. All the elements, they do not touch it. And then, not only the elements, he is also untouched by notions like happiness, say misery and all these things. Dukkha, Sukha, all these dualities, they do not touch. So he goes beyond these dualities. So that is what is that Akasha Shariram Brahma. Akasha Shariram, Akashaha Shariram Asya. That is, of that Hiranyagarbha Brahma, the Akasham itself is Shariram. Because Akasha, what is the definition, meaning of Akasha? Avakasha Datru Akasha. That is, Avakasha Datru. That is, that which gives, that provides space for everything. Avakasha Datru. That is, you take, say, one whole, galaxy, Akasha gives space to that galaxy. You catch hold of another galaxy, Akasha gives space to that galaxy also. So, like that, the whole space, this is something which is what is called Hiranyagarbha. So, or Akashavadva Sukshmam. Akashavat, like Sukshma, like Akasha, it is subtle in the sense that it is untouched by all these things, untouched by anything, untouched by raga, dvesha, sukha, dukkha, etc., by all these dualities. So he attains that particular stage. Who? The seeker, the sadhaka, the person who is meditating, who is doing this meditation on this Hridaya Akasha, and then who is doing this, say, upasana, in that bhuhu, bhuvaha, suvaha, and then he goes beyond that bhuhu, bhuvaha, suvaha, and then gets established in that Brahma, Mahaiti Brahmani, he gets pratitishthati there. So we read all that. Then, not only that, let us read Satyatma, Satyam Murta Murtam, Murta Murtam, Murta plus Amurta, that is Murta Murtam, Avitatham Swarupam Va, Atma Swabhavaha Asya Tadidam Satyatma, Tadidam Satyatma. Okay, Satyatma. Satya, we are going to see in the same Upanishad, Satya Tyacha Bhavatu. We are going to see that Satya Tyacha. Sat and Tyat, they come together and then they make the word Satyam. And while for this word Satyam, we should not confuse with Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. We should not confuse that existence, consciousness and infinitude. We have to take a different meaning here, that is something which is Satyam and Tyat. That is Murta and Amurta. Murta is that which has a form. Is Murta, and we call it a Murti. Murti means something which is having a Rupa, something which is having a shape, a form and shape, that is called Murtam. Amurtam is that which has no shape and form. So that is, out of the 5 elements, we have got 3 elements which are Murta, that is Prithvi, Apaha, Teja, that is earth, water and fire. These 3 have Rupam. Whereas Vayu and Akasha, they don't have a Rupam. They are called Amurta. So in this form, Murta form, it is the Hiranyagarbha which has manifested. It is the Hiranyagarbha which has manifested in this whole Murtam form. And then Avitatham Swarupam. It is something which cannot be Vitatha. Vitatha is wasteful. It is not something which can be discarded. Avitatham Swarupam va Atma Swabhavaha. So this is something which is one with that Hiranyagarbha, and then that sort of Swarupa, that sort of Swabhava Asya Tadidam Satyatma. So this Satyatma means he is one with the 5 elements. The whole Prithvi, Akasha, Teja, Akasha, he is one with that. Then Pranaramam. Pranaramam is another word. Let us read. Pranaramam. Praneshu Aramaha. Aramanam Akrida Yasya Tat Pranaramam Prananam Va Aramaha Yasmin Tat Pranaramam. So for this word Pranaramam, Shankaracharya is giving 2 meanings. One is Praneshu Aramaha Aramanam Akrida. That is, this Hiranyagarbha is the cosmic intellect. This cosmic mind or cosmic soul, there are two aspects of this cosmic mind. Cosmic mind is one and cosmic prana also is one. Cosmic mind refers to that intellect, the component, the aspect of intelligence. Cosmic prana refers to the aspect of Shakti. Intelligence and Shakti, both are there. So there, praneshu aramaha, that is all the pranas, all the vital airs which are there in every being, in every living being. It is that Hiranyagarbha which is having a play, it is like a sport. That Hiranyagarbha is having a sport in all these living beings. Actually, he is sporting in all these living beings. For Hiranyagarbha, you and I, we are all say like sport. The prana which is moving in me, the prana which is moving in you, the prana which is moving in all the prana means all the vital layers, prana, apana, vyana, udana, etc. All the vital layers, all the prana shakti which is there in the entire in the whole living in all the living beings, it is something like a sport. It is something like a arama, aramanam, akrida. Akrida means a sport. It is something like a sport for that Hiranyagarbha. So this seeker also reaches that level. This seeker also, he is not associated or he is not identified with his narrow body-mind complex. He is not identified with his narrow prana shakti, and he is identifying himself with that superior prana shakti, which is for which this whole world is like a play. This whole world, all the living beings, it is like a play. It is a sport. That is prana aramam. Then prana aramam. Praneshu aramaha. Aramaha means aramanam akrida. Akrida means a sport. Yasya tat pranaramam. Tat refers to that Hiranyagarbha Brahma, not main Brahma. Of course, this Vanamalakara, he has engaged, he has written an elaborate discussion saying that this passage refers to main Brahma. But of course, Shankaracharya doesn't say that. Anandagiri doesn't say that, and also Sureshwaracharya also doesn't say that. Sureshwaracharya, Anandagiri, everybody says that it is about Hiranyagarbha Upasana and Ahamgraha Upasana. So let us stick to that. So this Tat refers to that Hiranyagarbha Brahma. So he attains that state of Hiranyagarbha Brahma where he is not identifying with his limited body-mind complex, with his limited prana. He is with that universal prana shakti, and then for which every other thing is something like a sport. So pranaramam, another meaning is, then where is this? Prananam va aramaha yasmin. Prananam aramaha yasmin. So he looks upon himself as though all these prana, these vital layers, they are just a mere playing in him. Prananam aramaha yasmin. All these vital layers, they are just playing. It is just a play in me. So he realizes like that. He is identifying with the supreme, Hiranyagarbha. And having at that level, he realizes that whatever little prana is moving in and around him, it is something like a play. So pranaramam. Then mana anandam. Then mana anandam. Ananda bhutam. Sukha krudeva yasya manaha. Tan mana anandam. So that he also becomes that. What? Mana anandam bhavati. All these things, etat tato bhavati, akasha shariram bhavati, satyatma bhavati, pranaramam bhavati, mana anandam bhavati. All these are in neuter gender. So this is referring to that Hiranyagarbha Brahma, which is mentioned here. So what is that mana anandam? Ananda bhutam manaha, yasya manaha. Ananda bhutam ante means sukha krud, that which is always in a state of bliss, that which is always in a state of happiness. So he is not affected by any small things. He is not affected by any of these things in the world, because his identification is with a superior self. So he is no longer identifying himself with the body-mind complex, or with the surroundings, or with his surroundings. So that is why he is beyond all these klesha, all these dukhas, all these worries, etc. So his mind is very happy, very happily established. So sukha krut means that which causes sukha is sukha krut. Dukkha krut is that which causes dukkha is dukkha krut. So sukha krudeva yasya manaha. One whose mind is always giving him happiness, which means he is in happiness, he is in that state of happiness. So that is what is called mana anandam. Then shanti samruddham. Shantihi upashamaha. Shantischa tat samruddham cha shanti samruddham. Shantyava samruddham. Tad upalabhyate iti shanti samruddham. So for this shanti samruddham also, there are two meanings which are given. Shanti samruddham. Of course, this Vyakyakara, he is also writing Shanti. For this word Shanti, Sarva Dvaita Nivrutti Rupam Ityarthaha. Shanti is all types of dualities have vanished. Sarva Dvaita Nivrutti Rupam. That is, it is only when you are in the state of duality that your mind is in tension. You and your boss, that duality. Okay, imagine that vision, that duality. Of course, when you go to office, you can't wish away that duality, but otherwise you can wish away the duality. So all these dualities, I have just given a light example, but all the dualities, they vanish in him because he is no longer identifying himself with this limited self. So because of this Dvaita Nivrutti, Upashamaha, there is total withdrawal of activity from all other things. Withdrawal of activity means he may be normally doing his social obligations and all that, but then this Uparati is also associated with desire, isn't it? When there is desire, you are moving towards an action. That desireless action refers to this Uparati, or rather Uparati refers to this desireless action. He may be doing action, he may be engaged in all types of actions, but then he is not attached to them, he is not doing them with that, as a kamya karma or a desire. So he is in that state. So Shantihi tat samruddham cha. Samruddham again means Samyak ruddhim gatam is samruddham. Ruddhi, sam plus ruddhi. Ruddhi means vyaptam. Ruddhim vyaptim gatam, samruddham. That is, this Shanti is something which is all pervading. This all pervading, let us not say peace. It is not even peace. It is something which is more than contentment. Shanti, it is something, of course, he says, the Vyakhyata has given the meaning as Uparati. Uparati means Upashamaha. Upashamaha means there is no Vikshepa. Upashama means where there is no disturbance in the mind, where there is absolutely no disturbance, no klesha, no Vikshepa in the mind. There is no vacillation, there is no hankering for anything. So that state of mind is called Shanta. Shanta state. So this Shantihi Upashamaha, Shantischa tat samruddham cha. So it is so pervading. That peaceful nature is so pervading. So that is called Shanti Samruddham. Samruddham, we followed this word Samruddham. Sam plus Ruddham. Ruddham means Vyaptam, pervading. Samyak Ruddham, that is all pervading. So he is so full of peace, he is so full of contentment, he is so full of bliss. So that is how we can take it. Shantyava Samruddham. That is, otherwise, you can also say it as, it is filled with Shanti. Shantya Samruddham. Shanti Shantischa Samruddham cha is one way of interpreting that samasa. Shanti Samruddham is a samasa. Shantischa, that Samruddham cha is one. Shantya Samruddham, that is, it is filled with happiness. That is another way of explaining that samasa. Samruddham, tad upalabhyate iti Shanti Samruddham. That sort of peace is found here. He is in that state of existence. So that is called Shanti Samruddham. Then another word also is there. Another what is this? Not definition. Another Visheshanam. Visheshanam is adjective. Another adjective also is being used. Amrutam. So let us read. Amrutam amarana dharmi.
Amrutam amarana dharmi.
Yetaccha adhikataram visheshanam.
Yetaccha adhikataram visheshanam.
Tatraiva manomaya ityadau drashtavyam iti. Okay, Amrutam, this is another adjective, another say appellation or attribute which is being given. Amrutam. Amrutam is, we know that we refer to Supreme Brahma only as Amrutam. That is something which is immortal, the consciousness which is never born, which never dies. So that is what is Amrutam. Here, of course, it is, we have to take it as Apekshikam Amrutam. Apekshikam is something which is relative, because we are referring to Hiranyagarbha. What is Hiranyagarbha? Hiranyagarbha is only a manifestation in that Maya, isn't it? Maya is, the Hiranyagarbha is that Maya Vachinnam Chaitanyam. He is that Hiranyagarbha at that cosmic mind level and also cosmic prana level. Cosmic mind is that intelligence, cosmic prana is that Shakti, isn't it? So he is at that level. So that is not the supreme reality. Hiranyagarbha is not the supreme reality. Hiranyagarbha is one, the first jiva, prathamo jivaha, in which all religions, they visualize whatever God forms they want. You may have a God with form, you may have a God without form. All religions, whatever human mind can think is within that ambit of Hiranyagarbha. Whatever human mind can think. Idam, idam, idam. So that is all that idam is in that level of Hiranyagarbha. And then when you refer to Brahma, Nedam Yadidam Upasate, we saw in Kenopanishad, you have to go beyond this idam, whatever has been cognized by the mind, whatever has been, whatever can be conceptualized by the mind, you have to go beyond that. So that is what is Nedam Yadidam Upasate. So like that, here this Amrutam, Amarana Dharmi, Apekshikam Amrutam, we have to take it. Then Yetacha Adhikataram Visheshanam. So all these additional Visheshanas, Yetacha, all these Adhikataram Visheshanam, this additional whatever Visheshanas, additional attributes which are being told about this seeker. This seeker, of course, he becomes, initially he said, Apnoti Manasaspatim, Vakpatis Chakshushpatihi, Srotrapatir Vijnanapatihi. He said, in addition to that, these things also have to be taken and applied to whom? Tatraiva Manomaya Ityadav Drashtavyamati. That we will see the first line, Tasminnayam Manomayaha, Tasminnayam Purusho Manomayaha. We are now talking about this Manomaya Purusha. Manomaya Purusha is that Hiranyagarbha. Manomaya Purusha, that Hiranyagarbha who is dwelling in our own heart. That is the subject matter here, isn't it? Yes. The subject matter here is Hiranyagarbha Upasana, Ahamgraha Upasana, in our own, say, Hridaya Kasha. So that is what it is, in our own Buddhi Guha, in other words. So all these Visheshanas, all these adjectives have to be applied to this Manomaya Purusha. Manomaya Purusha who has been referred to in the very first line. Is it clear? Yes. Adhikataram Visheshanam Tatraiva Manomaya Ityadav Drashtavyam means all these these adjectives have to be applied to that Manomaya Purusha. Then evam Manomayatwadi Dharmaihi Vishishtam Yathoktam Brahma He Prachina Yogya Upasva iti Acharya Vachanoktihi Adarartha.
Upasva iti Acharya Vachanoktihi Adarartha.
Okay. Then evam, in this manner, Manomayatwadi Dharmaihi Vishishtam Yathoktam Brahma. So this Brahma we are talking about is Manomayatwadi Dharmaihi Vishishtam. So Shankaracharya is very clearly saying that it is something which is Vishishta Brahma. It is a qualified Brahma. In what manner is it qualified? Manomayatvam, Manomayaha, then Hiranmayaha, then all these things, isn't it? Tasminnayam Purusho Manomayaha, Amrutaha, Hiranmayaha. Then all these things, that is these are the characteristics of that Brahma. That means he is having some Visheshanas. He is not without that, he is not beyond the Visheshanas. He is characterized or delimited by some Visheshanas. So Vishishtam means which is qualified, that which is say defined or described in this manner. So that is Manomayatwadi Dharmaihi. He is having some dharmas. He is having some dharma means it cannot be supreme Brahman. It is, we are referring to that Hiranyagarbha Brahma. Dharmaihi Vishishtam Yathoktam Brahma, that particular Brahma, that Hiranyagarbha Brahma, He Prachina Yogya. For this Prachina Yogya also, of course, some commentator has given Yogya. Yogya means eligible person, isn't it? Yogya. He Prachina Yogya means, oh my dear eligible boy, oh my dear highly qualified fellow. That is what it means. Prachina Yogya, that is all the say prerequisites which are needed for a competent student. All these, he should have got some first grade in this, he should have got some other say grade in some other thing. So like that, this man is somebody who has practiced Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, etc. He is somebody who has practiced that, who has got this sense of Vairagya and things like that. He is also a Mumukshu. So all these qualifications are there. He is also somebody who has performed all these Nitya Naimittika, all these karmas in a very perfect manner. Somebody who is well disciplined, well qualified. So that way, Prachina Yogya. Oh my dear boy, you are qualified in all these things. You are the most eligible boy to do this Upasana. For doing this Upasana also there is some eligibility needed, isn't it? So a person should be a highly disciplined man. A person should be receptive to the teaching. He should be able to properly visualize. So that is what is needed. So that is why Prachina Yogya Upasva iti Acharya Vachanoktihi, this word by Acharya, this word or this the advice by the teacher is Adarartha. Adaram means showing respect, reverence. It is a respect, it is basically to show reverence. Reverence for what? Reverence for the teaching. The teaching is that Hiranyagarbha Upasana. This Acharya Vachanoktihi, this statement by the teacher or this advice by the teacher shows the reverence or shows his reverence towards the teaching, the subject matter here. So this is a very noble upasana. You please do upasana. You please meditate on this. So as we were discussing, unless we do some little bit of practice, unless we also practice at least for a few minutes these bhuhu, bhuvaha, swaha, and then go beyond and try to identify yourself with that mahaha, we will not appreciate the spirit of it. So that is what we have to see here. So we have seen in this particular Anuvaka, Hiranyagarbhopasana, which is Asangrahopasana. And in the next Anuvaka also, we are going to see the same Hiranyagarbhopasana in some other manner. Hiranyagarbhopasana in say different way, in some other manner. So let us see this avatarika for this next Anuvaka. Yadetad vyahrutyatmakam brahma upasya muktam tasyaiva idanim pruthivyadi panktasvarupena upasana muchyate. So he is using a word called panktam. Panktam means a set of five. Pankti actually means set of five. So he is going to quote one Shruti line, Panchakshara Panktihi Pankto Yajnaha. He is going to quote one line. Panchakshara Panktihi also is there, Panchapada Panktihi also is there. Pankti is one Vaidika Chandas. Chandas, you know what is Chandas? Chandas is, in Sanskrit for example, Shardula, Mattebha, these are the Chandas. Anushtup is one Chandas. A Vedic Chandas, the Vedic prosody, as we call it, Prosody, prosody, Vedic prosody is Vedika Chandas. So in that, there are so many types of meters. In English also you find some pentameter, tetrameter, etc., etc. In English, if you have seen this English, if you see your child's English textbook, you will find this so-and-so is a pentameter, so-and-so is a tetrameter, etc., etc. So Pankti is something similar to this pentameter. Pancha, what is Pancha? Pancha is 5. The same thing becomes penta in English or Greek or Latin, we do not know. So this pancha becomes penta. So pancha becomes the set of 5. This pancha set of panchanam samaharaha becomes panktam. So you visualize the upasaka. So we have seen the way in which our Vedic sages they did upasana. The Vedic upasanas have some unique feature in them. You see, the Vedic Rishi, he is first of all observing his body thoroughly. He is observing his body. He is observing this universe. He is trying to see the connection between him and the universe. So that is one main feature we find here. And then he is trying to establish that link. And he is trying to go away from this narrow self and then establish himself with that higher self. So that is the strategy which we find. This is not something which is a selfish pursuit. In the last class also I was saying that a man, because all these communist people, they keep on accusing us, oh, you are only bothered about your self-knowledge, you are not bothered about society. Here, what is happening? He is going out of his narrow self. He is identifying, he is trying to have the Sarvatma Bhava. He is trying to see the other man as himself. When he is trying to see the other man as himself, and when he is able to love the other person as himself, then what more do you need? So this is where we are forgetting that this particular upasana is not a selfish upasana. Having Sarvatma Bhava is something, it is breaking off his personal limits and then going to that is the greatest service to society, that is the greatest love to society which he is going to have with this Sarvatma Bhava. So that is how we have to understand it. So here anyway, coming back to this word Panktam. Panktam is set of 5. So when you observe your body, you have got these 5 senses first of all. 5 senses are very, very obvious. These 5 senses are say corresponding to the 5 elements which are there in the outside. That is Prithvi, Apah, Teja, Vayu, Akasha. Then we also have 5 motor organs, organs of action as we call them. Then we also have 5 pranas, prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana, etc. So like this, in Adhyatma, Adhyatma means at the body level. Adhi, Atma, Atmani, Adhi, that is with respect to the body, in relation to the body. You have got so many sets of 5s. The prana is one set, then our indriyas are one set, our motor organs are one set, then our body constituents, that also he is going to say. Body constituents means this raktam, mamsam, majja, so blood, bones, flesh, etc. This is again, so it can be seen as 5, say a set of 5. Blood, bones, of course he is going to say what is that? Charma, mamsa. Charma is skin, mamsa is flesh, snava, the sinews, asti is bones, majja, the marrow. These 5, this is the dhatu panktam. Dhatu means the basic material, basic components, material components or constituents which are constituting this body. That is what is called dhatu. Dhatu, you must have heard about this word dhatu. Dhatu means, in grammar, what is the meaning of dhatu? In grammar, dhatu means root. So here, something similar. Dhatu panktam. This is the root. This is something like the root. This is something like the basic constituent, basic ingredient, or the material constituent. So these things you can find in the body. These things you can find in the universe. Corresponding things you find in the universe. At the adhibhautika level, and also at the adhidaivika level, and at the adhiloka level. You see these 4 or 5 levels, you see. Adhilokam, adhijyotisham, adhiprajam, adhyatmam. We have seen in an earlier mantra. So you are seeing at the adhyatma level, you are seeing at the adhiloka level, you are seeing at the adhibhuta level, you are seeing at the adhibhautika level. So many levels you can see, and then you can establish some unity. So establishing unity is the theme here also. So if we see the first line, Yadetad Vyahrutyatmakam Brahma, this particular Vyahrutyatmakam Brahma means that Brahma which is said to be having these 4 Vyahrutis as its Atma, as its self. That is Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, Maha. That is that Vyahrutyatmakam Brahma. Upasyam Uktam. Upasyam means that which has to be meditated upon. Upasyam. Upasana is different. Upasyam is that which has to be meditated upon. Uktam, that which has been told. Tasyaiva idanim, of the same Brahma. Tasyaiva, of the same Brahma, idanim. So there is no upasya bheda. There is no difference in the object which is being meditated upon. Because the object being meditated upon is only one. The upasana prakriya may be different. The methodology of upasana, the style of upasana, the way you visualize, that may be different. Visualization prakriya, that is, your methodology of upasana may be different, but the object of upasana is one and the same. So that is what it is. Tasyaiva idanim pruthivyadi pankta swarupena. Pruthivi adi. Pruthivi etc. Pruthivi means earth etc. Adi pankta swarupena. These groups of 5 or set of 5. So if you want a single word, there is a word called pentad. I checked up in the dictionary. There is what is called pentad, P-E-N-T-A-D. But that may look rather artificial. You may or you may not take it. So this pankta swarupena upasana muchyate. So that upasanam or meditation in that style, in that manner, with that methodology is being told. So pancha sankhya yogat pankti chandas sampattihi.
Pankti chandas sampattihi.
Sampatti. What does your book say?
Sampatti.
It is Pakti. Pakti, I do not know whether it is there, but Sampatti. Sampakti, I am not sure. Sampattihi. Then Pancha Sankhya Yogat. Why is it called Pankti? Pancha Sankhya Yogat. Because it is connected with this. Pancha Sankhya Yogat means because it is connected with this, say, Sankhya, this number 5. Because it is connected with this number 5, it is called Pankti. Sankhya Yogat, Pankti Chandas Sampattihi. Pankti Chandas is a Vedic prosody. Sampatti means visualization. Sampatti, you can write it as visualization or meditation. So this Pankti Chanda also is being borrowed here. The notion of Pankti Chanda is also being borrowed here. Pankti Chanda Sampattihi. Pankti Chanda actually in Vedic literature, Pankti Chanda, you see different Chandas are there. Anushtup Chanda is there. Then again Gayatri Chanda is there. Gayatri Chanda is 8 letters, 3 say lines. Then, for example, this Tripada Gayatri, isn't it? Then this Panchakshara Panktihi, this Panchapada Pankti also there is another line. So this 5 say aksharas will be there, or rather 5 syllables will be there, and then it is something like similar to in this pentameter in English. And then there are 5 lines in that. If there are 4 lines, we call it quartet. So this is of course Panchapankti. These 5 lines are there in this particular say prosody. So tataha panktatvam sarvasya. So here in this passage, whatever is being imagined or whatever is being visualized, whatever is being meditated upon, let us say instead of imagining, you use the word visualize or meditation, because what we are doing is meditation. Imagining is a rather light word. So tataha panktatvam sarvasya means of all these things which we are visualizing, you are seeing this panktatvam. Panktatvam means this 5-ness. That is, everything can be reduced to this group of 5. Everything we see can be reduced to this group of 5. So how we are going to see? Panchakshara panktihi pankto yajnaha iti shrutehe. So there is the Shruti line. Shruti means Veda line. Somewhere it says Panchakshara panktihi pankto yajnaha. So Pancha Pankti, what is this Pankti? Panchakshara, that which contains 5 letters is a Pankti. Pankto yajnaha. This Pankta is to be taken as yajna also. Then of course yajna, we are using this word, we know this word, meaning of this word yajna. In that Gita Bhashya, we have seen in the Gita Bhashya that yajna is not a mere ritual. Yajna is something, any activity which is done selflessly is called yajna. Particularly in chapter 4, Lord Krishna has defined so many yajnas. And why we have to take that meaning is, of course, Shankaracharya also is going to say that this Pruthivi, Antariksham, everything is performing yajna, it says. That is, Pruthivi is doing its job. Because Pruthivi is doing its job selflessly, we are all able to survive. Antariksham is able to do, it is also performing yajna. This Aditya is performing yajna, Dyauhu performing yajna. That is, all are doing their job in a very, very thorough manner, and that is why we are able to survive. So similarly, the human being also is supposed to do his part of the duty towards his immediate society, and also towards the cosmos, cosmos as such. So he has to do his duty to the society and also to the cosmos. So in that sense, this word is yajna. Panktaha yajnaha. Panchakshara panktihi is, that is the definition of pankti. Pankti means that which has 5 letters, or panchapada is another version. Then panktaha yajnaha. This panktam, that is this thing called, this set of 5 is itself a yajna. Then iti shrutehe. Tena yat sarvam lokadi atmantam cha panktam परिकल्पयति यज्ञमेव तत् परिकल्पयति तेन यज्ञेन परिकल्पितेन पांक्तात्मकं प्रजापतिम् अभिसंपद्यते. So here again he says tena yat sarvam. Yat sarvam means all that we see. All that we see, lokadi atmantamcha. Lokadi. So he is first defined, the mantra is first talking about 5 lokas. So all the lokas can be grouped into these 5. What is that? Pruthivi, Antariksham, Dyauhu, Dishaha, Avantara Dishaha. I will come to that mantra. Say this lokadi atmantam. Starting from lokas, then it is coming to Devata Panktam. You see, in this particular mantra, there are different groups of 5 which are being described. One is the group of lokas, that is called a loka panktam. That is Pruthivi, Antariksham, etc., etc. They are different lokas. Then it is again coming to Devata panktam. Devata panktam is the groups of gods. What is this? Agni, Vayu, Aditya, Chandrama, etc. That is the group of gods. Then you are coming to Bhuta Panktam, that is Apaha, water, Voshadhayaha, all these food food items, food grains we see, Vanaspatayaha, Akasha, all these things, that is the Bhuta Panktam. Then it is talking about, like this, Akasha Atma. So up to this point, what all we see in the entire universe, that is in terms of lokas, in terms of devatas, in terms of all the bhutas, out the external elements, what all we see, it can be visualized in terms of pankta, in terms of these groups of 5. So lokadi atmantam cha panktam parikalpayati. This particular mantra or particular anuvaka, it is visualizing. Parikalpayati means it is visualizing. Everything we see in terms of these groups of 5. And then yajñameva tat parikalpayati. And also it is saying, it is visualizing, or it is meditating on it as yajña. Because Prithvi is doing its duty, Antariksha is doing its duty, similarly Agni, Vayu, everything they are doing their duty. So that is why this whole universe is functioning in a proper order. So that is what it means. So yajñameva tat parikalpayati, tena yajñena parikalpitena panktatmakam prajapatim abhisampadyate. So by doing meditation on this, by doing meditation in this manner, that is, first of all, he has the first portion of the mantra has told about the lokapanktam, the 5 sets of lokas, the 5 sets of devatas, the 5 sets of bhutas. And then he is trying to identify them with whatever is there within the body. So whatever is there within the body, by doing such meditation, prajapatim abhisampadyate. Abhisampadyate means he attains. He becomes prajapatim abhisampadyate. What type of prajapati? Panktatmakam prajapatim. Panktatmakam prajapati means that prajapati which is manifesting, or who is manifesting as this panktam. This prajapati means he is referring to Hiranyagarbha only here. In this Hiranyagarbha, who is manifesting in all these forms. It is Hiranyagarbha who is manifesting as lokas. It is Hiranyagarbha who is manifesting as all the devatas. It is Hiranyagarbha who is manifesting as all the bhutas. So in that particular Hiranyagarbha, this sadhaka, this seeker is going to attain by meditating in that manner. So that is it. Tena yajñena parikalpitena, by visualizing all these as performing some yajña, as performing their duties, then panktatmakam prajapatim abhisampadyate. He attains that particular stage. Then tat katham panktam idam sarvam ityataha. So tat katham panktam idam sarvam. How is it? How is it that all this is panktam? How is it that what all we see is, it can be reduced to these sets of 5? So that is being told. So let us read the mantra. Mantra I will read from this book. Prithivyantariksham dyaurdisho vantaradishaha. Dyaurdisho vantaradishaha. Agnirvayuradityashchandrama nakshatrani. Apavoshadhayo vanaspataya akasha atma. Ityadi bhutam. So the first, it is only one mantra. Anyway, let us read the whole mantra. Then athadhyatmam prano vyanopana budana samanaha. Chakshushrotram manovak tvakcharma. Vak tvakcharma. Mamsagam. Vak tvak. Charma mamsam snavasthimajja. Snavasthimajja. Snava means the sinews. Then etadadhi vidhaya rushiravochat. Panktam va idam sarvam. Panktenaiva panktagm sprunotiti.
तेनैव पान्तभूं
Sprunoti.
स्पृणोतीति.
Okay. So, as I said, we need not concentrate on the swara because it has to be practiced from a regular teacher, Veda Pandit. So, the mantra says, Pruthivyantariksam Dyaur Disho Avantara Dishaha. Let me tell the meaning first. Pruthivi plus Antariksham. Pruthivyantariksam. That is, Pruthivi is earth, Antariksham is that intermediate space. Dyauhu, Dyuloka, that is what you call heaven. Dishaha, Avantara Dishaha. Dishaha means the four quarters as we call, east, west, north, south, these four quarters as we call. And Avantara Dishaha, that is intermediate. Avantara is something which is intermediate, that is northeast, southeast, southwest, so something like that. Northeast, southwest and northwest. So all these things are Avantara Dishaha. Yeah, those things. So we are having one panktam here. Pruthivi, Antariksham, then Dyauhu, the four quartets is one, Avantara Dishaha. So what all we see all around us, you turn your head all around and then make a rotation in 360 degrees and up and down everything. So these are the things which we find. So all these things can be taken as a group of 5. So this is what is called Loka Panktam. Panktam is set of 5. Loka Panktam is this Panktam relating to lokas, the Panktam relating to worlds. The next is about the Devatas, Agni. Deva is not exactly that Deva is having some kiritam and then holding some weapon and whatnot. We should not visualize Deva like that. Deva is anything which is Diva, Dyotanatmakam, anything which is associated with intelligence, which is associated with consciousness, Dyotanatmakam. All those things have to be taken as Deva. We are also Devas in that sense, because these are of course in a higher level. We are in a smaller level. So, Agnir, Vayu, Radityas, Chandrama, Nakshatrani. Agni is one, Vayu, air, Aditya, sun, Chandrama, that is moon, Nakshatrani, all the stars. So, these are the things, these are all the Devas, these are all the divine things. Then coming to this Bhuta. Bhuta means whatever is there on earth. Apa, Oshadhayaha, Vanaspatayaha, Akasha, Atma. Then Apaha is water. Oshadhayaha. Oshadhi we know, not medicinal plants. Oshadhi means Oshadhi Bhyovannam. We have seen we will see in Taittiriya Upanishad. Oshadhi means all types of cereals and then all types of plants. Vanaspatayaha. Vanaspataya is larger trees, bigger trees. Vanaspatayaha. Then Akashaha, Atma. For this word Atma, the meaning given here is not that supreme Atma. There is 1 second. I will Akasha Atma. Atma Yagyameva Atma Tena Vasudeva Vanaspata Akasha Atma iti Bhutapam Atma iti Virat Bhutadhikarat. Okay, Atma is referring to that Virat. Atma, you note it as Virat. What is the difference between Virat and Hiranyagarbha? Hiranyagarbha, when you refer to the cosmic mind and cosmic prana, you are referring to Hiranyagarbha. That is the cosmic mind.
Cosmic energy.
Yeah, cosmic energy you call it, cosmic mind, and also energy you call it. Mind, when you say Jnanam, when you talk in terms of prana, you call it cosmic energy or Shakti. Then, when you see it as the physical manifestation, that is Prithvi, Antariksham, etc., all this physical manifestation, and also on earth, as we have seen, Apaha, Oshadhayaha, Vanaspatayaha, all these things, these are all physical manifestations. When you are referring to physical manifestation, the cosmic being is called Virat. Virat is the physical cosmic being. And then Sthola Sharira, let us say. Sthola Sharira and Sushma Sharira, we know. When you are referring to the Sthola Sharira, the Samashti Sthola Sharira is Virat. Vyashti is individual. Samashti is collective. The cosmic Sthola Sharira is Virat. The Vyashti Sushma Sharira is the individual. The Samashti Sushma Sharira is Hiranyagarbha. So Samashti Sushma Sharira is Hiranyagarbha. Samashti Sthola Sharira is Virat. So referring to all these physical manifestations is another thing. Napa, Oshadhayaha, Vanaspatayaha, Akasha, Atma. This is what is called Bhuta Panktam. These are all beings, physical beings which have come into, which appear, which are manifesting. Then ityadhibhutam. Not only iti adhibhutam. Not only adhibhutam, it is also referring to adhilokam and also adhidevatam also. Because adhibhutam, apa, oshadhi, vanaspataya, akasha, atma only are adhibhutam. Ityadhibhutam, that is what the mantra says. And we have to apply it to this loka panktam and also devata panktam also. When one thing is mentioned, it is suggesting the others also. Upalakshanam we call it. When one thing is mentioned, the other things also they are referred to there. Then we come to the body level. Atha adhyatmam. When you come to the body, the strategy here is you see what is there in the universe and see what is there in your body and try to equate. So we are coming to that strategy. Then prano, vyano, apana, udana, samana. These are the 5 vital airs which we are having. Then chakshu, shrotram, mano, vak, tvak. These are the 5 senses we are having. Sense organs or senses which we are having. Chakshu, eye, shrotram, ear, manaha, the mind, vak, tvak. So these are the senses we are having. Then charma, mamsagam, snava, asthi, majja. Of course, not exactly 5 senses. This mind is of course, it can take all the senses. But all these things, it has to be taken as one panktam. What is this? Chakshu, shrotram, mano, vak, tvak is tvak is skin. Tvak is skin. All these things are taken as one group or one panktam. Then in the body, the physical flesh which we see, the physical flesh, that is charma, skin, mamsam, the physical flesh, snava. Snava is the sinews as we call them. That is the ligaments which bind one particular bone to another bone. So these are all the binding. Suppose I say that there are some ligaments here, there are some ligaments at the knee. So like that, there are ligaments wherever the bones are joined. So that's nava. Asthi. Asthi means bone. Asthi panjaram we say. Asthi is bone. Majja. Majja is the marrow. Marrow which is there in the bone is called majja. So these are the 5 things which are there in the body. These are the 5 gross things which can be seen in the body. This is the body, panktam. So etat adhividhaya, having meditated upon this in this manner. Adhividhaya means having meditated upon in this manner. Rushihi avochat. Some Rishi has told. Rishi, of course, Shankaracharya is going to give 2 meanings. Rishi also means Veda. Rishi also can mean some particular Rishi who has done this meditation. He avochat. Avochat means he told. Then what did he reveal? Or what was his revelation? When he meditated, there was a revelation to him. Yes, this whole thing is panktam. So he revealed, yes, the whole thing is panktam. Panktam va idagam sarvam. So like Archimedes, he jumped out and then he shouted, Eureka, Eureka. So this man also said, panktam va idagam sarvam. This whole thing is panktam. This whole thing, what all we see is set of 5. Then panktenaiva panktagam sprunoti. Panktenaiva, by this meditation of all things as panktam, panktam sprunoti. Panktam means panktatmakam brahma. That is that Hiranyagarbha which is manifest in the form of this panktam. Sprunoti means attains. Prinayati, of course, is another meaning. But Prinayati, bhavati, he becomes that Hiranyagarbha by doing this meditation. So that is what is the overall meaning of this passage. Let us see the bhashyam. Tat katham panktam idam sarvam ityata. How is all this panktam? So that is being told. Prithivyantariksham Dyaur disho avantara disha iti dishaha is correct. In fact, disha maybe must be Vedic usage. Because that is not mentioned here why it is used dishaha. Dik, dishav, dishaha is the correct word. Dishaha, your book says dishaha. So anyway, avantara dishaha it is mentioned here. Prithivyantariksham dyauro avantara dishaha iti loka panktam. Agnirvayu raditya chandrama nakshatrani iti. Devata panktam. Apa voshadhayo Vanaspataya Akasha Atmeti Bhuta Panktam Atmeti Virad Bhutadhikarat
भूताधिकारात्.
Okay, so let us see. Pruthivi Antariksham Dyauhu is that heaven. Dishaha, I explained these four quartets. Avantara Dishaha, these intermediate directions, that is northeast, northeast, northwest, southwest, southeast, etc. Avantara Dishaha, iti Loka Panktam. These are all the lokas, these are all the places. Loka is what? Lokyate iti Lokaha. That which is seen, lokyate, that which is looked at, loka and look, they are cognate words. So, that which is seen, that which is experienced is what is called loka. What all you see, what all you experience, what all you cognize is something which is a loka. So, all these lokas, Pruthivi, Antariksham, this is the loka panktam. What all we see can be grouped as 5. Is it okay?
Yes.
We can visualize like that. You need not go into all details. There can be one more point, there can be one more thing there. Why not 20? Why not 30? But then this is a way of visualizing in order to have this Sarvatma Bhava. The objective is basically to have Sarvatma Bhava. So then Agnihi Vayuhu, Agni is one, that is fire, Vayuhu air, Aditya, Chandrama, Nakshatrani, all these things, they are the Devata Panktam, this group called divine beings. Then Apaha, waters, Voshadhayaha, Voshadhi is, that is all this plant kingdom. Vanaspataya, this forest, this huge trees and then all these things in the forest, they are the Vanaspatayaha. Then Akashaha, Atma iti Bhutapanktam. Akasha is, of course, Akasha is a space. Atma, what is the meaning of Atma? Atma iti Virat Bhutadhikarat. Shankaracharya is explaining. Atma, the word Atma refers to Virat. Virat means that cosmic Sthola Sharira, the cosmic gross body. What all we see is that cosmic gross body. Bhutadhikarat means because we are talking in the context of bhutas. Bhuta adhikarat. The word adhikara, you know. Adhikara means that context. Bhuta adhikarat means because we are in the context of bhutas. We are talking in terms of apaha, voshadayaha, vanaspatayaha. When you are talking, say, in terms of all these physical things, then you cannot say Atma is something different. Atma, you have to take it as something belonging to the same group. So what is it that is belonging to the same group? After all these things, Apaha, Voshadaya, Vanaspataya, Akasha, beyond Akasha, what is that gross thing? Beyond Akasha, the gross thing is only Virat. Beyond Akasha, if you want to see, the gross thing is only the cosmic Sthola Sharira. That is Virat. Then, Atma iti Virat Bhutadhikarat. Ityadhibhutam
iti
Adhiloka Adhidaivata Panktadvayoho Upalakshanartham. Adhidaivata Panktadvayopalakshanartham. Okay. This Ityadhibhutam, it is said, where in that mantra it is there. Rushi Ravochatu Panktam, above that. Akasha Atma Ityadhibhutam, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So, though it is mentioning only Adhibhutam, it is also referring to all other things also. Of course, in the mantra, there is only Adhibhutam only mentioned, but then the mantra is also mentioning this Loka, it is also mentioning the Devas. So, that is what he is explaining. Ityadhibhutam iti, this statement that Ityadhibhutam, it is also suggestive of the other two groups. Ityadhibhutam iti, Adhiloka, Adhidaivata, Panktadvayoho Upalakshanartham. Panktadvayoho. These two Panktas, these two sets of 5, these two pentads, it is also suggesting to these two pentads. What are they? They are the Adhiloka and Adhidaivata. It is also the statement that Ityadhibhutam, you should also take it to include the Adhiloka, the 5 pentad, and the pentad relating to Lokas, and the pentad relating to Devatas. So that also has to be taken. Upalakshanartham. Panktadvayoho, Panktadvaya, not Dvayoho, sorry. Panktadvaya Upalakshanartham. This is one samasa. Panktadvaya Upalakshanartham, not Panktadvayoho. Panktadvaya Upalakshanartham. Panktadvayasya Upalakshanartham. In order to suggest this Panktadvayam also. So that is what it is. Then लोकदेवतापाङ्क्तयोः
लोकदेवता पान्तयोः
पाङ्क्तयोश्च
पान्तयोश्च
अभिहितत्वात्
अभिहितत्वात्
अभिहितत्वात् अभिहिता means that which has been told, because those things are also mentioned, that is what it means, that's all. Loka devata panktayoscha, even that loka panktam and devata panktam also have been told, because they have been told. Abhihitatvat, because they have been told, because they also have been described, so we have to take it as upalakshanam. This adhibhutam should be taken as upalakshanam, which is indicating the adhiloka and adhidaivata, because they are also described here. There is nothing complicated here, only bhasha is complicated. Because they too have been told, it should be taken as upalakshanam. Then I think the time is over. We will see in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.